All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we go again. This time I got myself another bug shield. This customer called me one time and didn't really hear from him, and then all of a sudden showed up one day. So didn't really have anything prepped or ready to go or any drawings. So let's get at it. So that's the hardware. Put it on the box. Make sure I don't lose it. I back tape the back side of it so I don't have any weird overspray. And because he just kind of showed up, didn't have anything prepped, I did a really quick sketch in front of him, showed him what I was thinking. He said, sure, let's go for it. And we went from there. After I go ahead and paint it all white, you can see that in another video right here. Get the center line. This is one of my images for the right side. Here's the other side. Gave him two options. He chose the top, made sure it was okay, taped it all up, sprayed it, unpeeled it. Went ahead and took the positive shape from the vinyl that I had and saved it, put it back on to mask off nicely so I can go ahead and do all my airbrush work behind it, because this is going to stand out in the foreground while all the other stuff is behind it. Put on some more of that transfer tape and draw it all out again. Do a much tighter rendering. As you can see in the background, I have the original sketch with some of my notes on it. And right there, the W, the R. The W stands for white, the R stands for red. It can get kind of confusing, so I just kind of put notes all over everything. Unpeel the R. Make sure it looks all good. Do some taping on the side to make sure everything's taped up good. Put in the booth. Do a light dusting of red on the sides. That's my American flag stripes. Let it dry for a day. Yep, looks pretty decent. After it dries for a day, I go ahead and cut out my stars, cut out around the bird and everything. And I'm looking a little lost right here because I got so much sketching going on, so I kind of I'm not sure where that starts and where that part ends, and right around the tail section either. So I still have my image of the bird, so I go ahead and lay it back down on top of it. Put the carbon underneath of it, do my sketch in the areas I really need to know where it's going on. Well define it again. Unpeel the thing, see, kind of a little flip-flopping back and forth. Making sure I got it right. Okay, everything looks good. Start knocking it out. Once everything looks all taped up, I go ahead and tape up the red again, spray the blue just like I did the red part, let it sit a little while. Then I come around here and just do a little dusting around the stars, so I kind of make them pop out against that blue. And I'm doing a little bit around that bird too, so it kind of pops out even more. Unpeel the whole thing. A few little areas, just kind of cut it around the head, just kind of define it even more. And some of these stars weren't too sharp on the edges, so I went ahead and taped them up a little bit better. Going to do a little dusting, gotta get a sharp edge to it. All right, everything looks good there. Untape the whole thing and really see what I have left. Unpeel that white there. Okay, now it's starting to look like a flag a lot more. Kind of get the gist of it all. And instead of just white stars, I'm kind of giving them a three-dimensional look and a beveled edge. So that's where all that tape is there. I'm just kind of spraying a little dark spot on each side. Reinforce, going ahead and spraying that pigeon a little bit better, make it stand out more. And just start putting black and white right here, just to kind of make it pop a lot more than what it was. Working it back and forth. Dusting around the letters so the letters stand out more because I got the blue on there now. And the customer wanted rays of light coming out from behind the lettering. So this is all I do a simple tape up. I'm finding a center point off to the side, off to the right hand side where you don't really see it. But I gotta have all my tape lines right to that point, right there on the right. So after I go ahead and spray those parts, I've kind of put some little highlights in areas, kind of dust around the pigeon a little bit to kind of make it look like it's glowing from behind. A little bit of light coming up behind it. Unpeel it all. See what I got left as far as the pigeon goes. But now I have a white body of the pigeon. This is the reason why you spray everything white when you're doing something like this. So the reds pop more, the white is already there. I'm just adding red and blue, and they are kind of popping off of that white base. So here I go, unpeeling everything there. I'm putting a little bit of shadows and everything, just so it's not just looks like a sticker, which it pretty much is, but it's just a paint sticker. Now take that same Xerox copy of that pigeon, stick it on there, cut out the dark spots, spray the dark on there, and kind of go back and forth. Give it a freehand shield, kind of define the feathers a little bit better. I'm kind of mapping it out just so it's not just a white blob. I kind of have a definition of where everything goes now. And then I just start putting details in from there. So I went ahead and showed the customer the progress of the job. He didn't really care for the eye part of it, so he wanted to have a definition on top and bottom. So I had to go ahead and sand it down that area and redo that section of it, which is kind of a pain in the butt. It's better to do it before you even start it. So there you go. Cross is kind of simple. Just go ahead and spray the thing gold, put a little bit of 1/8 inch tape around it and spray it and go from there. Same thing with this pigeon. I'm just kind of adding stuff to it, just building it up. Give him a little olive branch right here. Kind of just cutting it out, spraying it. This whole job, none of it's really freehand. It's all kind of template style, you know. So I just kind of cut everything out, and then I give it a little bit of highlight and a little bit of shadowing, and really just do a little bit of freehand like that. And I'm gonna just kind of block it in. I'm not getting crazy with it. Give it a little bit of paintbrush action, just to give it some highlights in certain areas, kind of make it pop a little bit more. And you see the close-up from here. It doesn't look too like perfectly great. This is really just a background filler part. I mean, against the whole image, you're not going to notice that I just kind of slapped this in there. I mean, you want it to look decent, but I'm not going to like spend hours on this one little part. Your brain is not going to notice it compared to the rest. Now, what I will do is just let it sit for like a day or so, just look at it. If something bugs me, I'll touch it up or add a little bit more to it. But after letting it sit for a while, see how I like it, get in the booth, wipe it down, tack it, and put my first couple coats of clear on there. That's kind of just leveling everything out. Let it sit a day, come back in, sand it with like some 500 grit sandpaper. I'm really getting rid of all these edges and everything. And all that white stuff right there, that is clear. See that right there? It's just clear dust now, sanded clear. Clean it all up, do a few touch-ups. Next day, put it back in the booth, and put my final coat of clear, and I am done with it. And here it is, all done, finished. With that second coat of clear, all the edges around the lettering and the flag part are completely smooth now. It looks like one big sheet of clear on it. Looks good, everyone's happy. And like I said earlier, this is all template. I cut out the flag, cut out the stars, the pigeon. I mean, everything's cut out. Very little airbrush, maybe some highlights here and there and a little bit of spraying for that background lighting to come through. But it's all taped up. I mean, anyone can do it. It just take some time and just kind of think through it, you know? All right, everybody. If you like what you see, follow me. Ask questions. Do whatever. Like, follow, support, blah, blah, blah. All right, man. Bye-bye.